USS Grayback, lost in 1944, hidden for 75 years by a single mistake, rediscovered in 2019 by a team determined to give history its truth. Today, we travel through time, from her launch, her triumphs, her final battle, to the incredible rediscovery that changed everything. This is the Grayback story, a story of courage, loss, mystery, and resurrection. In 1939, as the world trembled before the coming storm of war, American shipyards prepared weapons unlike any before. Silent hunters of the deep. At Groton, Connecticut, steel plates clanged, rivets fired, and welding torches carved out the long body of a submarine. That would one day become a legend. On January 31st, 1940, the USS Grayback, SS-208, slid into the water. 105 meters long, armed with 24 torpedoes, powered by diesel-electric engines designed to strike fast, disappear faster, and fight in a world where detection meant death. Her future crew, young, hopeful, and unaware of their fate, trained for a war no one wanted, but everyone knew was coming. USS Grayback was no ordinary vessel. She was built with one purpose: to fight and never be found. On December 7th, 1941, everything changed. The attack on Pearl Harbor shattered peace and plunged the United States into World War II. While battleships burned, submarines survived. They would become America's answer, the spear point that would push into enemy waters, strangling Japanese supply lines. USS Grayback headed into the Pacific, and the legend began. The Pacific was vast, millions of square miles of open water. But the submariners of the Silent Service operated alone, diving deep, surfacing at night, searching for targets with radar and instinct. Grayback's early patrols tested her crew: mechanical failures, rough seas, long weeks underwater with no sunlight. Every noise could attract enemy destroyers. Every depth charge could be their last. But slowly, Grayback carved her reputation. On patrol after patrol, she struck Japanese merchant ships, tankers, transports, cargo vessels. A torpedo leaves the tube with a metallic roar, and in the distance, a blossom of fire explodes across the sea. Grayback was becoming a hunter. By her fourth war patrol, Grayback had grown bolder. She engaged Japanese convoys under moonless skies, firing spreads of torpedoes. Destroyers counterattacked. Depth charges rolled into the water, each one a hammer of death. Inside the submarine, pipes rattled. Light bulbs shattered. Water sprayed from valves as pressure squeezed the hull. But Grayback survived, and every survival made her crew stronger and more determined. At the center of the Grayback story stands one man, Lieutenant Commander John A. Moore, fearless, calm under pressure, and known for daring attacks even under impossible odds. Moore took command before the Ninth Patrol, and under him, Grayback became a nightmare for the Japanese Navy. In the Gulf of Siam, in the East China Sea, Grayback's torpedoes tore through enemy shipping, tankers erupting in columns of flame, freighters breaking in half, convoys scattered in terror. By the time her Ninth Patrol ended, Grayback had sunk over 63,000 tons of enemy vessels. One of the most successful submarines in the entire Pacific War. Her crew, heroes. Her commander, legendary. But fate was already moving toward her. On January 28, 1944, Grayback left Pearl Harbor for what would become her final chapter. She carried 80 men, sailors, officers, machinists, torpedo men, each one unaware of how close they were to their destiny. Their mission: patrol near Okinawa, sink any enemy ship encountered, disrupt supply lines feeding the front. In early February, she radioed in: 2 enemy vessels sunk, 2 more damaged, torpedoes expended. It was a good patrol, a successful patrol, but it would be her last message. The morning was rough. Clouds hung low, waves pitched violently. Grayback surfaced to charge batteries. A routine maneuver, something they had done hundreds of times, but above them, a Japanese Navy bomber patrolled the skies. The lookout spotted the aircraft, but too late. The bomber descended rapidly, engines screaming, closing the distance. Inside Grayback, the alarm blared, "Dive! Dive! Dive!" The submarine began its descent, but the bomber had already released its weapon. A 500-pound bomb. The weapon struck just aft of the conning tower. A devastating hit. Witnesses reported the submarine erupted in smoke and flame, then slid beneath the waves. Her hull ruptured. Her fate sealed. 80 American sailors were lost instantly. The sea became their grave. Back home, families waited. Weeks passed. Months. The Navy sent the heartbreaking message, USS Grayback is overdue and presumed lost. But the ocean never gave up her location. And soon war would swallow the truth. For decades, historians searched wartime logs. Divers scanned wrong coordinates. Theories formed, but none were right. Grayback remained lost, not because she was hidden by the sea, but because of a single human mistake. After the war, Allied intelligence translated captured Japanese naval records. One report included the sinking of a submarine with coordinates, but in the translation, one digit was mistyped. The latitude was off by 100 miles. A clerical error, a simple mistake. That mistake hid the submarine for 75 years. Grayback was not lost by the tides. She was lost by a typo. Enter explorer Tim Taylor and his extraordinary mission, the Lost 52 Project. A quest to locate all 52 American submarines lost in World War II. Using cutting-edge underwater vehicles, side scans, sonar, deep ocean imaging, and historical reanalysis of Japanese records, the team targeted the newly corrected coordinate zone, a place no diver could reach, a place deeper than skyscrapers are tall. The search began. Days passed. The ocean was silent. No signs. Then, on a sonar screen, a shape emerged. Long, curved, broken only at the bow. A submarine. When the ROV descended into the deep darkness, the lights revealed something unmistakable. The hull of the USS Grayback, resting at 1,427 feet below the surface, her bow section blown apart, her aft section intact, her nameplate still readable. After 3/4 of a century, she had been found, a warrior, finally home. Members of the Lost 52 Project stood silently as the camera panned across the wreck. A tomb, a memorial, a time capsule of sacrifice. When the news reached home, families of the 80 sailors wept. Some had waited their whole lives for answers. Others had inherited grief across generations. Now at last they knew where their fathers, grandfathers, and uncles rested, that they died heroes, and that history had corrected itself. The ocean does not return what it takes easily, but truth cannot stay buried forever. The USS Grayback fought with courage, disappeared in silence, and returned in honor. Her discovery is more than a historical achievement. It is a promise that every story, every sacrifice, every hero will be remembered. USS Grayback, SS-208, lost in war, found in peace, never forgotten.